Welcome to Heart of the Homestead Family. I'm Heidi.
I'm Sarah.
Caroline.
And I'm Allie.
Join us as we talk about all things homesteading.
Okay, it's the beginning of spring, which means we are ready to get out to those gardens soon, right?
Yes.
Woo! Yes. Some of the early stuff can get planted soon too.
Yeah, very soon.
There is a future podcast, watch for it, that you can look at signs around you. Different things are growing and changing, and that will tell you when to plant, which is really interesting. So watch that podcast. For now, let's talk about what you guys are doing in your gardens this year, or what you think you're going to do. You know, it doesn't always, what you think and what happens isn't always the same, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What are some things?
Well, right now I'm still taking stuff down from last year that I never got around to.
Yes, cleaning up the gardens.
yeah. Just half the battle. But I always find like pulling the kale plants is always easier after the long winter because they're like a lot easier to get out.
Yes.
So I always just console myself or convince myself that I don't have to worry about cleaning up in the wintertime or in the fall. Leave it to spring and then get going then.
Yeah, you're just adding good nutrients to
That's
the
exactly
soil, right?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
And when I do that, the rabbits just come along and do half the work for me.
Yes.
And then they fertilize my garden. So it's a win-win.
There you
Exactly.
go.
Yeah, less work, really. That's it.
Yes, I have the big sunflower stalk still out there, which fed the birds all winter. But now I gotta hack them down and get rid of them.
Yeah.
And there's still, of course, stakes and flags and all these other things that are still in the gardens that need to get out of there before I till it up.
Yeah.
A lot of tripping hazards, I'll tell you that.
Yes. Yes, getting those gardens cleaned up is one of those things that is great to do on these cooler days. And then all winter long, we've been planting our gardens, right?
Mhm.
Like the moment January 1st hits, it's time to start planting.
Well, even in December when the seed catalogs start showing up.
Yes.
We're already excited for what's new. Show me all the new things. I probably need them.
Yes,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't have any space for them. I don't know where they're going to go,
But I'll
I
find
need
somewhere.
them. Yeah.
I'll order them now and I'll find space for them later.
Yeah. A friend of mine told me the other day there's two different hobbies. One is collecting seeds, one is planting seeds.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the person who is ordering the seeds is different than the one that wants to plant all of those seeds.
Yes.
But we can have dreams and goals.
Mhm.
Are you guys expanding on your gardens? Are you keeping them the same size?
We're actually expanding ours a little bit this year.
Awesome.
We have a smaller, comparatively, a very small garden. But half of it this year is going to be vegetables, and the other half we're doing flowers. Hopefully, do cut flowers. I keep talking about it, but this year is the year. We have our garden's a bit of a community garden, so we have some other women that come and help us, and then they can use the produce. And last fall, actually, they were determined to get it all cleaned up and all prepped so that the spring we could just plant. So my garden is clear
Amazing.
and prepped and ready to go. And eventually it might dry out enough for us to start thinking about planting. But we're expanding into cut flowers this year. See how that goes.
Oh, that'll be fun. A nice bouquet of flowers on your table at the end of a hard day. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's beautiful too.
Yes.
Yeah. I started putting a little bit of flowers in last year, and I'm planning on doing more this year. That seemed like a faraway goal for me when I was first starting with gardening, because I thought we just need something to eat first, so I'm going to plant the vegetables. But I feel like I have that enough under control that I can add the flowers, and now I can have food and beautiful flowers.
There's even some herbs or some other vegetables that can be used as flowers in floral arrangements
Oh,
too.
look at
Like any of your herbs, so your basil, your oregano has a really beautiful purple flower, and things like that we can use for both.
So you're waiting until it's flowered on
Yeah.
purpose, and then you're cutting in sort of greenery sort of flowers at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
All the fun things. Yeah.
That's a great idea, because oregano gets giant.
And then really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we do a lot of that too, like edible flowers and things. So like all the nasturtium end up like dried, and then we put them on our cakes and stuff in the wintertime. And
Yeah.
so we just kind of play around with it. But a lot of the times we try to plant annual flowers that are also edible, as opposed to the perennial ones because they get caught in the wrong bed in the wrong time. But Yeah, it's a really great way of having nice bouquets.
Yeah.
But I also find too, like I give out a lot of vegetables like to friends and family, but they don't appreciate it as much as a bouquet of flowers. You know, like I don't know why, but it is. But it's just like when you shop
with flowers,
someone's like, "Oh, this is so great," you know,
Yeah.
like yeah. So I think in addition to flowers, your garden is like just awesome. Yeah.
I want to expand my herbs. I want to be able to dry as much of my own herbs that I use all the time in the kitchen. I want them to be myself, grown myself, and different like mixes, the Italian mixes, and different mixes too.
Yeah, I'm trying to expand like which types of herbs that I'm growing in my garden, so that there's more and more that I'm growing too. But some of them I don't know how to grow them because I don't know what they are. Like I don't know, like for example, cumin. I love it, but is cumin itself a plant or is it something else? And then cumin is like a part, because there are some where there's sort of two things that come from one plant, right?
Like the coriander,
Yeah,
and the cilantro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
The coriander is the seed, and the
of the
cilantro is the
cilantro
leaf.
plant.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
cumin its own plant, or is cumin like the coriander of some other plant? You know what I mean?
Is cumin the seed portion of it? So I have
I don't know.
seeds, and it says black cumin on it.
Oh well, then that
So
must be it.
we're gonna see what happens this year. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
when I bought it, it's just like powdered.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to grow it,
Yeah, no,
but I love it, so I should probably learn how to grow it.
Yeah, same way like with cayenne pepper. Like I didn't realize it's just like a pep, like
Yeah.
peppers
Yes,
that
it's
you
not-
grow with dehydrate. Like I
Yeah,
had no idea.
and then you just powder it, and there you have it.
yeah, it's like I thought it was like a plant, like a
Right.
cayenne plant. But
Because
it's not.
black pepper is a different kind of plant, like
Then like the peppercorn.
yeah, like peppercorns.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a different kind of plant.
Then-
And I
then-
kind of thought that those two had more in common with each other, and they don't.
They don't. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, it's a whole new other ball game learning about all the herbs.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it'll be nice if I can get them dried and into the kitchen,
Mhm.
or even if I don't have time to be drying them, throwing them in the freezer in bags and getting them into the broths and soups and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And also too, like using herbs that wouldn't necessarily be considered a herb, like using stinging nettle or using like some of these edible wild things that you can use in replace of a herb. Like that's really interesting. Or like I use a lot of carrot tops in replace of parsley and whatever. But these things no one really tells you. You just kind of like find your way through it eventually. I think so. That's always a tricky one. So we're trying to expand on like our knowledge base on edible wild flowers and wild vegetables, so we can know how to use them. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Or even things that you can use a different part of the plant than you thought before. Like,
Yeah.
Like you said,
So
with
like-
the carrot tops, you've been growing carrots, but now you're also using the tops for something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole other podcast right there.
It is.
This episode is sponsored by Meadow Lynn Market Garden. We grow quality seedlings and plants in your spring plant sales. We have a CSA box, and we also have strawberries on the farm. So check us out in June. Come by the farm. We'd love to see you.
Yes. So planning our gardens. Are we using pen and paper to plan our gardens?
I am. I use like graph paper, and I just draw it out mostly to scale,
Yeah.
approximately to scale, and then I just write it in pencil, and then I can erase it and go back. And sometimes I'll go back once I've actually planted to put what I actually put there instead of what I intended to put there,
Yes.
so that I can remember. Because sometimes if my plan changes too much, and then I have no record of what I actually did, then next year when I'm trying to plan for crop rotations, I'm going by what I thought I was going to do, but not what I actually did.
Yes. That's key to
Yeah.
make sure you edit
Yes.
all of that. I have about 2 to 3 acres of gardens, and they're all in plots. So it's this plot is going to be this plot's going to be this, and then I just fill it to whenever it gets full.
Yeah, I do something similar. It's like the plots, like I have a 12-year rotation based on the plots. So then every year I just know, okay, this plot, it just moves down one. So it's not so much
They all
of
shift.
They all shift down.
Huh.
Yeah, and they just cycle through. So I don't really do as much planning as I used to because I kind of have like, okay, so it'd be a heavy feeder plot and then a light feeder plot and then a heavy one again, and then just keep rotating through. So then it helps with my fertilizer plan too. So yeah, but I'm mostly manual paper to record what I actually did, but I don't really do a lot of online. I would like to get to a program, but like at this point, because I do the same thing year after year, I I don't grow a lot of new stuff. I don't eat a lot of new stuff. Then I just kind of have it in my head, which is great, but also a terrible way of record keeping. So yeah.
We use one of the apps online just because, again, our garden we don't have plots to go through acres. And we're always changing it because we have other people growing with us. I send out a list and I say, here, pick what you want. And then we go from there. And then, so it's always changing, but we also want to do some form of crop rotation to help the soil regenerate and help it stay nice and healthy. So I found that some of the apps are really handy, and it's wonderful in January when everything is frozen, and then you can put it in and all the rows are already in there, and you can figure out how many seeds you need and where you need to plant them. And it gives you, if you're a data person, which I tend to be, it gives you everything that you need and when you need to start them and a whole schedule, so that when it gets to be this time of year and things are busy and you're running around, you can just look at the schedule. Right, I need to plant that this week.
So it's telling you how much of, like, if you were to devote, say, 3 square feet to carrots, it's going to tell you how many seeds to buy and when to put them in the ground.
And then when to harvest. So if you're starting indoors, when to start indoors, when to set out, when to harvest. So it'll give you a whole actual schedule.
That's handy.
And then if you're succession planting, or if you're planting something else after, like with radishes, once radishes are gone, what are you going to put in afterwards? It'll actually change your view of your field, I guess. Yeah. To show that it's empty, so that you can say, oh, in July, I need to put something else in there.
So will it give you some warning on that, like so that you know it's going to be empty at a certain time?
Maybe.
Or you would just check it and...
You just check it.
Yeah.
And then follow it through and see what else you can put in.
Because that would be really handy for, like, if you're growing something you've never grown before and you're maybe not sure how long it's in the ground.
Yeah, it's great. And especially for because we do all kinds of experimental plants that it could work, or we don't really know, like the cumin. Who knows what that's actually going to be? But it gives you a bit of an idea. Or even other plants not to plant near it because they're going to affect it.
That's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information.
And what is that called again?
That is a great question. It is Mother Earth Garden Planner, I believe.
Okay. We'll put the link down in our show notes.
Yeah. It is a paid. I do the paid subscription. I believe there's a free version as well, but I keep it year after year so that I can see what I've done in the previous years.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
And there's a lot of like commercial market gardening programs like this too. I just never got there. But like, and they do this all the same things and plan year after year. And then it can also help you plan the harvest schedule. So you know, like, okay, if I got to fill a CSA box on this date, what would potentially be available? So it really goes like pretty into detail about that. And then you can like log how much you actually harvested too. So then you know, like, is that accurate for my soil type, planting, whatever. So it just depends how complicated you want to make it, right? I guess. So,
yeah, you can wing it, or you can be very detailed. Anywhere in between.
Yeah. That all said, I plan it all out, and then I never plant actually what I'm supposed to be planting, where I'm supposed to be planting. It always changes, but at least gives me a base to start from.
Yeah, for sure. I always get out to the garden. I'm like, oh, I killed half of these.
Yep.
Well, I guess I gotta plant something else there, or like I have a double planting of this, or it's always, or the soil type's not ready. Like our gardens are different depending on like the soil type, right? Where the drainage is. So like some beds we have to plant early, some we have to wait, sometimes we have to skip. Like it just depends. Like, or sometimes the garlic went in the wrong plot because it was wet or cold or whatever, or like something happened.
Changes. Like whatever you were going to plant there, now you can't because the garlic's in
there. Yeah. You're like, oh, I guess not. Like,
Yeah. So right now, cleaning up the gardens, planning what's going in the gardens. I know that I'm replanting some cuttings. I'm pruning the trees. I just dug up some sunchokes that were in there. I know my mom's still digging up carrots that she had over winter. Anything else that you guys are doing actively in the gardens?
I'm digging up my parsnips.
Oh,
that overwintered.
We have a podcast coming up on that.
Yes.
Allie's favorite.
They're pretty much my favorite vegetable. Yeah, it's true.
Marvelous.
Yeah, we're trying to find old potatoes. Like we had a row that died and I don't know where they are. So before we like till up the garden, we're gonna see if they still exist. I know they're still there, but like, are they good? I don't know. So
will you have to dig to find them, or wait till a little?
I don't know. I think I can start trying to dig now because at least everything's died back, so I can kind of like guess where the row was. You know, well, we'll find out. Yeah. So.
And does anybody have planning on planting an early things like lettuces and peas and?
Yeah, soon though. Like
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but it's
Yeah.
on my radar to do soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Peas are coming in soon. We always plant. I don't know if this is a thing or if it's not a thing, but I was always told you plant potatoes on Good Friday. So I didn't make Good Friday, but soon those
Yeah.
are going to go in. I did start some winter sowing this year, so I've got broccoli outside that's about that tall right now. It's starting to come up. Cabbages are starting to come up, so it's successful so far.
That's good.
Fingers crossed I don't kill it all before it goes in the garden, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of spinach I planted in the ground and then just put like a clear tote kind of thing over top of it with a couple rocks on top so it didn't blow over. And that has started to sprout. There's just like the first little leaves of it, not the true leaves. But I mean, it's at least germinated.
Yeah.
So hope for the best.
Yeah. We planted our hoop houses full of lettuce right now. So, but that's pretty common for us. So nothing new really. But we did start ginger last week for the first time. So we have it all like in totes and watered, and so we'll see if it comes up. I don't know. I just bought it from the grocery store, so I have no idea like if it will sprout or not. But fingers crossed.
And that's in your hoop house too?
Yeah, because it's like warmer, because it's like a long day crop, right? So it's in a heated hoop house right now to see if it'll germinate. But
awesome. I know I have got lots of potatoes in the house that are growing and ready to be planted. So I think I'm going to go with Caroline's advice and plant them nice and early and get them out and planted, and one less thing that needs to be planted when everything else is being planted.
Yeah.
Give it a go. All right, so I am excited to hear about how everybody's gardens progress, and we will give you updates on future podcasts on how it's going and things that we are learning and all the fun. But good luck with your planning as well in your gardens, and until next time.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and until next time, enjoy filling your hearts and your jars.